Listen closely, because today, everything you thought you knew about the world, about people, about yourself, is about to shift. This isn't a gentle whisper meant to comfort you. This is a cold, unshakable revelation. The kind that rises from the ashes of your silence, your patience, your quiet endurance. Today, the masks fall, the walls crumble, and the truth that has lived inside you for years finally steps into the light. They had no idea who you really were until you showed them. And when that moment arrives, there's no turning back. The air changes, the ground beneath them trembles. The world begins to see what you have always known, that you are unstoppable, untamed, unbroken. From the very beginning, understand this. There is power in being underestimated. There is a dark, simmering strength in silence, in patience, in appearing small while you are secretly building storms. They laughed, they doubted, they whispered behind your back. They tried to measure you by their own limitations. But the truth is always far greater than the lies, the doubt, the ignorance of others. Every insult, every dismissal, every sneer they cast at you was nothing but fuel. They couldn't see the fire growing inside you, because fire never reveals itself until it is ready. And when that fire finally emerges, it doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't knock politely. It roars, it burns, it transforms everything around it, including the people who underestimated you. You spent your days walking in silence, carrying your strength like a secret weapon. People think they can define you, box you, categorize you. They do it because they are afraid. They do it because they can't comprehend the depth of focus, the intensity of purpose, the unwavering will you have nurtured quietly. But patience is your ally, strategy is your shield, and time, oh time is the one thing that always exposes truth, and it has been on your side. You didn't rush, you didn't plead, you didn't scream your potential into the empty void. You worked, you prepared, you sharpened yourself in ways they will never understand. And then it happens, the moment of revelation, that instant when their smirks freeze, when their confidence shatters, when they finally see you not as they imagined you, not as they wished you were, but as you always were, formidable, relentless, undeniable. Their assumptions crumble because reality cannot be hidden. Reality has its own weight, its own force, its own way of making fools out of those who underestimate it. You were patient. You were silent. And now you are uncontainable. They messed with the wrong one. Do not mistake this for revenge. This is far more profound. This is the triumph of authenticity. The unstoppable rise of someone who refused to be defined by the ignorance of others. Every doubt thrown at you was a stepping stone. Every sneer was a mirror reflecting your future strength. Every closed door only taught you the value of persistence, of strategy, of waiting until the world finally realizes the force it has underestimated. They had no idea, and that was your advantage. They never saw the depth of your mind, the precision of your purpose, the storm that brewed quietly beneath calm waters. But now, when the storm breaks, the sound of it is deafening. You are not just strong, you are intentional, you are calculated. You are the culmination of every obstacle faced, every slide endured, every moment of being dismissed. The person they see now is the result of everything they ignored, everything they failed to recognize, everything they thought would break you. But here you stand, unshaken, unapologetic, undeniable. And there is a rare beauty in that. There is a sacred satisfaction in knowing that you are underestimated, doubted, mocked, and yet, here you are, a living testament to resilience, to power, to purpose realized. Some will try to understand, but they cannot. Some will try to warn, but their voices are hollow. Some will try to challenge you, but they will see quickly that the person standing before them is not bound by their expectations. You move with a precision, a focus, an unrelenting force that they cannot anticipate because it has been growing quietly, deliberately, invisibly. And that, my friend, is the darkest, most powerful form of triumph. Not loud, not boastful, not seeking validation, but inevitable, unstoppable, undeniable. They messed with the wrong one. You must own this truth. There is no shame in the darkness you have carried. There is no regret in the battles you have endured. Each struggle was an ingredient, each disappointment a tool, each setback a secret weapon forged in silence. And now, when the world finally sees the culmination of your effort, the culmination of your will, it will not know what hit it, because this victory is not only about success, it is about revelation, about proving to the world and to yourself that the strength you carried in silence was always more than enough. Remember this: every person who doubted you, every person who underestimated you, every person who dismissed you will now witness the consequence of underestimating what they could not see. And there is a unique satisfaction in that. Satisfaction that cannot be replicated. Satisfaction that is born from the knowledge that you played no role in your own exposure. You simply existed. You persevered, you prepared, and the world finally caught up with reality. The path ahead is not easy, but it is yours. They will remember your name. They will remember the moment they realized the truth. And every step you take from now on is a reminder that patience, endurance, and authenticity are forces stronger than doubt, stronger than mockery, stronger than disbelief. They messed with the wrong one, and now that realization echoes through every action, every glance, every decision you make. You are not just surviving, you are dominating the space they foolishly believed they controlled. And so, when you move forward, do so with that quiet, unstoppable certainty. Do not shout it, do not explain it, do not prove it again, because the proof is already etched into the reality of your presence. Every glance, every whisper, every lingering doubt in the minds of those who underestimated you is a testament to the power you have carried all along. They had no idea who you really were until you showed them. And now the world knows. You must understand this. The world never underestimates for kindness. It underestimates because it cannot comprehend. They cannot comprehend quiet strength. They cannot comprehend patience forged in fire. They cannot comprehend someone who is so relentless in preparation, so committed in vision, so unyielding in purpose, that their true potential remains hidden until the moment it is unleashed. And that is why you were invisible to them for so long. Not because you were weak, not because you were small, but because you were growing in ways that defied their understanding. They had no idea, and that ignorance was your shield. Every glance that ignored you, every slight that dismissed you, every word that mocked your existence, it all built the fortress of your becoming. The beauty of being underestimated is that it is a weapon in itself. People rarely guard against what they cannot see. They rarely prepare for what they do not believe is possible. And you, in your quiet, deliberate way, became the embodiment of the impossible. They assumed limits where there were none. They assumed you would crumble where you would rise. They assumed they were the storm, when in truth, you were the hurricane waiting patiently, gathering force, calculating each movement until the moment it mattered. They messed with the wrong one, not because of arrogance, not because of luck, but because of the deliberate, unseen mastery of your own self. You have felt it before, that sting of dismissal, that weight of doubt, that silent disbelief that others carry when they encounter someone they cannot measure. Every whisper of disbelief, every fleeting judgment, every smirk of superiority. These were not barriers, but invitations. Invitations to rise, to show, to demonstrate in a way that would leave no room for denial. You didn't confront it immediately because confrontation often diminishes the potency of revelation. You learned to let it build, to let the seeds of their misjudgment grow into the fuel for your inevitable emergence. And now, that moment has come. They messed with the wrong one. Consider the silence before the storm. They did not see it coming because they were too busy underestimating. They were too comfortable assuming that you were ordinary, that you were small, that you were bound by the same limitations they imposed upon themselves. But they could not measure the depths of focus you cultivated. They could not anticipate the strength you built in the shadows. They could not sense the precision of your patience. And when the moment arrives, it is not a matter of luck or chance. It is a matter of inevitability. The revelation is unstoppable because it was always destined to be. They had no idea who you really were until you showed them, and nothing can erase that truth once it is revealed. Do not mistake their shock for understanding. Shock is temporary. Understanding is impossible until they have walked the path you have walked, carried the burdens you have carried, endured the moments you have endured, and they never will. The world has always been quick to label, quick to judge, quick to dismiss, but it has always been slow to recognize. Recognition only comes after demonstration, after evidence that cannot be denied, after a presence so undeniable that it shatters every expectation. You are that evidence. You are that presence. And the moment you step into it, the world has no choice but to confront the truth it refused to see. Think about the power in this. When you rise, it is not for revenge. It is not to humiliate. It is not to prove them wrong. It is far deeper than that. It is the quiet, unshakable assertion of your existence, of your potential, of your truth. Every obstacle you faced, every person who doubted you, every moment you were overlooked, all of it converged to create this exact point in time. This is your reckoning, but it is not theirs. It is your recognition of what you have always been capable of, and the world only now witnesses it because it cannot escape the reality of your presence. They messed with the wrong one, and the realization is as thrilling as it is terrifying for those who failed to see you. You have learned that patience is not waiting. Patience is preparation. Patience is understanding that the world will never give you credit until you are undeniable. Patience is carrying your strength quietly, cultivating it, sharpening it, refining it, knowing that the right moment will arrive. And when it does, the force you have gathered in silence is like nothing they could ever imagine. They thought they understood the limits of your power, but limits are constructs of those too small to recognize true potential. And you, in your silent, relentless way, have become boundless. There is a strange satisfaction in being underestimated, one that cannot be replicated in applause or recognition. It is the satisfaction that comes from knowing the truth, that you were always more than they imagined, always stronger than they predicted, always capable of shattering the illusions they clung to. Every doubt, every whisper, every glance of dismissal was an unknowing acknowledgement of your latent power. And now, when the world finally witnesses it, it is a testament not to their failure, but to your unwavering perseverance, your strategic brilliance, your relentless pursuit of the self they could not comprehend. The moment of revelation is intoxicating because it carries the weight of inevitability. They will remember the exact instant they realized the magnitude of what they dismissed. And that memory, indelible and unshakable, is yours to hold. They will try to rationalize it, to explain it, to diminish it, but it will remain. Because truth, once revealed, cannot be hidden again. The strength, the skill, the focus, the resilience you have carried quietly will now manifest as undeniable proof. They messed with the wrong one, and that realization will echo far beyond the first encounter. And yet, your journey does not end here. The revelation is not the peak. It is merely a doorway. Every obstacle you overcame to reach this moment, every doubt you conquered, every underestimation you defied, these are not trophies to collect but tools to wield. You now move through a world that sees you differently, that measures you by your undeniable presence, that fears what it once ignored. And this perspective, this new reality, is your canvas. You can create, you can dominate, you can inspire, you can transform, because you have proven that the limits others imposed are meaningless when confronted with your true power. Remember, they had no idea who you really were, and that is the ultimate power. Power is not in shouting. Power is not in proving. Power is in existing, in enduring, in growing beyond the comprehension of those who would try to confine you. Power is in the calm before the storm, in the patience before the strike, in the quiet preparation before the world finally recognizes what was always there. You are that power. You are that storm, and nothing can take it from you. Every glance of doubt you received, every sneer, every moment of being overlooked, these were all the building blocks of your mastery. You have learned to transform ignorance into advantage, mockery into motivation, dismissal into determination. And now, as you stand on the precipice of your revelation, you realize the full measure of what you have carried all along. They messed with the wrong one, because the wrong one is not defined by perception, but by essence, and your essence is unstoppable. You must feel it in your bones. The moment they see you as you truly are is the moment everything changes. Their assumptions, their arrogance, their false sense of control, it all collapses at once. They believed they knew your limits, but limits exist only for those who accept them. You never accepted them. You never defined yourself by their rules. Every time they doubted you, every time they whispered behind your back, every time they overlooked you, it was not weakness that allowed it, but strategy. You were building a legacy in silence, an unshakable presence that would not need explanation when it emerged. And emerge it does. They messed with the wrong one. The beauty of this moment is not in the shock of others. The beauty is in the mastery of self. You have carried yourself through storms they could not survive. You have endured battles they could not imagine, and you have done it with a quiet patience that hides the ferocity of your ambition. Every setback was a lesson, every disappointment a blueprint, every challenge a forge that strengthened the very core of who you are. They had no idea. They could not see it because true strength is often invisible, waiting for the precise moment when it becomes undeniable. Think about the eyes that once doubted you. They will widen now, not just with fear, but with awe. The recognition of the truth is always accompanied by a jolt, a realization that they miscalculated in ways that cannot be undone. And that is your gift, to exist in a space where their ignorance cannot reach you, where their assumptions crumble in the presence of your undeniable reality. You were underestimated not by chance, but because the world cannot measure the depth of will, focus, and preparation that you have cultivated. And now, the revelation is unstoppable. Do not mistake patience for passivity. Patience is your silent strength. the unseen hand that shapes your destiny while others are distracted by their assumptions. It is the deliberate stillness before the storm, the quiet breath before the leap, the hidden fire that grows when no one is watching. They cannot perceive the power you nurture in silence. They cannot fathom the discipline that shapes your every action. And when the time comes, when the moment of revelation arrives, the force you unleash is not sudden. It is inevitable, the product of years of unseen mastery. They messed with the wrong one, and that realization will haunt them long after the moment passes. There is an elegance to being underestimated, elegance in walking among those who cannot perceive your true magnitude, in navigating spaces that others assume you will fail to dominate, in preparing for a world that refuses to acknowledge your potential until it cannot ignore it. They judged you by their vision, by their constraints, by the shallow reflections of their own limitations. And while they floundered in ignorance, you were building a presence so potent that, when finally revealed, it does not merely surprise, it dominates, it transforms, it commands recognition. Consider the transformation that has led you here. Every silent struggle, every hidden effort, every moment of being overlooked has been part of a larger design, a deliberate unfolding of power that is both terrifying and beautiful. The world may have thought you were small, ordinary, manageable, but the truth is, you were becoming monumental in ways they could not imagine. The person they see now is not defined by what they thought you were. You have become more than they can measure, more than they can control, more than they can comprehend. They messed with the wrong one, and that truth is both your shield and your banner. You must embrace the darkness that carried you here, the darkness of silence, of isolation, of being misunderstood. It was not a curse, but a crucible. In that darkness, you forged resilience, patience, strategy, and unwavering focus. In that darkness, you discovered that the world's recognition is fleeting, but self-mastery is eternal. In that darkness, you became the force they could not anticipate, the storm they could not prepare for, the presence they could not contain. They had no idea who you really were until you showed them. And when you show them, the impact is not merely external. It reverberates through your own consciousness, affirming the power, the resilience, and the mastery you have cultivated. Every whisper of doubt, every sneer, every moment of dismissal has transformed into ammunition. You carry these moments not as wounds, but as tools. Every assumption they made about your limitations becomes a building block for your dominance. Every prediction they offered, every attempt to define your potential, has been repurposed into evidence that their perception is irrelevant. The world cannot limit what it cannot comprehend, and you have learned to move beyond comprehension, beyond expectation, beyond their narrow vision of what is possible. They messed with the wrong one, and this truth will echo in their minds for years to come. Understand this, revelation is not a single act, it is a culmination. It is the sum of every quiet victory, every unnoticed struggle, every calculated effort, every hidden hour of preparation. They will look at you and see only the peak, but they cannot see the foundation, the years of unseen labor, the patience, the discipline, the resilience that made this moment inevitable. And that is your advantage. The depth of your preparation ensures that when the world finally sees you, it sees perfection born from perseverance. It sees inevitability born from intention. It sees power born from patience. You are not here to prove them wrong. You are here to show yourself that nothing could ever contain you.